Hey guys, welcome. Now, whether you're bored of your old money making method or you're just looking for a new money making method, or maybe you're a new player to Skyblock and you don't even have a money making method, well, this is the place to be because I'm going to be going over the 10 best early to mid game money making methods that can be done within a few hours of gameplay but make over 10 million coins per hour. Oh yeah, and there's also a money making method in here that makes over 35 million coins per hour and two that make more than 25 million coins per hour, so make sure to watch the whole video so you can see those. Okay, so if you're a frequent viewer of the channel, you're going to know this first money-making method, and I just want to say don't worry, because I'm going to be going into some money-making methods I haven't spoken about before, but this one is just so good that it's too hard not to talk about it. Now, this is grinding up arachnes, and obviously I'm on my main account right now, so I will be having way better gear than you're going to need. All you need is like a little bit of gear just so you can survive and get to the boss area, but you want to walk over here in the spider's den and then come down this area. Now, as I mean, like, the loot you require is only like a spider sword and maybe like ender armor. As long as you can walk over this area, you should be fine because the boss doesn't do that much damage. Now, once you get here, you want to hope that somebody else is doing a boss if you're a lower level, because it can be hard to kill it by yourself, and that is how you die. If there's more people there, you're less likely to die. So I want you to do /warped PRTL, and obviously, hopefully you're not in combat, but warp here, and then once you finally load in, you want to warp over to this travel area here, which will take you right into the sanctuary. And then you just want to refresh this a few times until you eventually find a lobby. Okay, so once you find a lobby, there are two bosses that can be done. Now, the tier 2 boss will have 20,000 health for all the minions, and it will be giving you technically more money. However, it'll only be giving you more money if somebody else places down the arachne crystal, which is how you spawn the tier 2s, because it's a little bit less. You still make a ton of profit if you place them yourself, but you make a little bit less money. Now, the reason people do place it, however, is because it's good for doing the tarantula boss, so there is a good chance you'll find someone placing it down. Now, I'll be showing you how much money you make per boss, and from there you can do the calculations based off. I'm going to show you how fast it is, and then you can calculate how much you'll be making per hour based off the lobby you're in. Okay, so we're just about to finish up here, and as you can see, that was exactly 21 seconds to kill the boss. Now, you do have to include the fact that it takes 20 seconds to spawn in, but it means around about 40 seconds per boss, and therefore it's around about 90 bosses per hour. And I'm going to be showing you how much money you make per boss and which items, sell for the most. Now, I did do 2 bosses, by the way, so that's why I have double the resources, so half it. But yeah, if we come over here, the first thing you want to do is sell the soul string to the NPC. You'll be making about 155,000 coins per boss, which times that by 90 is already very, very good. And then, obviously you have like a little bit of enchanted string, a little bit of other resources, but obviously the toxic arrow poison was from my tarantula boss, not from the arachne, so you won't be making profit from that. But if we come over here and we look at spider essence, you'll be seeing what makes the most profit, or a little bit more profit, not as much as the soul string, but that's still an extra 30,000 coins, which means you're making around about 200,000 coins per boss, which is very, very good. Okay, so obviously while I'm recording and talking, it is a lot harder for me to be doing the math and calculating exactly how much time it takes me to do the boss, but I just did one off camera and it took me exactly 39 seconds, so let's say we round to like 45 seconds to account for downtime. You're still doing around about 80 bosses per hour, and assuming you're making at least 200,000 coins, because that didn't include any armor drops, any pet drops, or any like enchanted string drops, you're still making around about 16 to 18 million coins per hour, which is absolutely insane considering this only requires combat level 15. Now, because I did talk about the tier 2 arachnes, I'm going to quickly talk about tier 1s as the second money making method, because perhaps you don't have combat level 15, or maybe you can't find a lobby. However, it is very rare to not find a lobby doing tier 2 arachnes. I mean, it took me 4 lobby swaps just to find this lobby, and it is already doing an arachne, so I'm hopefully going to clear out this current one, and then I'm going to show you just how to spawn it in, and then we can talk about how much money it makes, because I already did a whole video back when this used to be better than tier 2s for money, and I already have the exact calculations of what drops you get per hour. Okay, so really quickly, before we go into how much money it makes, I'm just going to show you how to do it. Basically, you come over here, you place down the arachne callings. Now, you either get these from killing the arachne keepers, or just buy them from the bazaar. They're like super cheap. But basically, when you place down the arachne callings, you get more soul string per tier 1 boss, which means you technically make more profit. But yeah, you do that, and then here's the profit list. Now, according to the wiki, these are the drops you're going to get, and these prices are a little bit old. The current value is probably about 10.5 million coins per hour because the price of the fangs and the price of the arachne fragments have dropped about 20 to 30%, but yeah, you're still making around about 10 to 11 million coins per hour by doing this, and it doesn't have the same level 15 combat requirements. It literally just requires that you are in the arachne century, which is a level 1 combat requirement, and that you place top 5 every single time, which is really not that hard considering how many people are in the spiders den and how many times you can lobby swap to find a good lobby. So yeah, very good money making method. Obviously not as good as the previous one, but perhaps if you're trying to level up your combat, this is a good way to make money while doing it before you get into tier 2 arachnes. Okay, so I'm sure, first of all, you can see that my game is a little bit different, and the reason for that is that I'm currently playing on Badline Client, because although I do usually play on Luna, Badline Client does technically have a few mods that are realistically better for Skyblock, and by a few, I mean a ton. I would definitely recommend this if you only play Skyblock and you want some mods, but yeah, come over here and you want to go into the Skyblock mod section and search for glowing and turn glowing mushrooms on, and then you want to come in here and you want to just give yourself some mage armor and you want to run around with some Moby shears. You can buy them on the auction house for about 300k, and I'm going to time for 1 minute to see how many glowing mushrooms I can get in 1 minute, and then I'll be back and let's see what loot I get. Okay, so there we go, that is the 60 seconds finished, and if we come into our bag, we will see how many we got, and we got 70 from that 1 minute. And to be fair, I did run away a few times. You want to make sure that the location on your sidebar is the glowing mushroom cave, because I probably wasted a little bit of time. But what you want to do here is buy 2 empty chum buckets, and then you want to go onto the bazaar and buy some chum. Now obviously we have to assume that you're losing about 4,000 coins from buying the chum buckets, but that won't really matter because let's time this. It's about 5 seconds that you're gonna be wasting here, placing down 2 chum buckets. I'll add it in at the end, and I'll probably overcompensate anyway, but these 2 chum buckets are all you're gonna need to come over here, and then with an additional 10, you're gonna buy yourself a luminous bracelet, which means that pretty much it's a total of 30 if you count like having to buy the other chum buckets, which means that technically you'll be able to buy about 2 2/3 per hour or per minute. And then if you come over here, the current lowest bin is 160,000 coins, meaning you're making around about 320 because obviously you can afford 2, and then add maybe about an extra 100,000 coins to account for the fact that you have to buy chum and you have to buy the buckets. And then obviously, let's say it's a minute 30. Let's say it takes 30 whole seconds to fill up 2 buckets and to sell them. So that means you're making around about 400,000 coins, which is, by the way, I'm scaling downwards here so I don't overestimate, but 400,000 divided by a minute and a half is around about 266,000 per minute, which means you're making around about 16 million coins per hour, which is very good for a money making method that really only requires some shears and I guess like an aspect of the void. Okay, so the next method is going to involve bazaar flipping, and before you click off or before you go to the next method, hear me out. I will show you why this method is actually the most reliable bazaar flip in the entire game. It has been alive for like a year now and it cannot die. It involves the item that has the most instant sells in the entire game, and that is coal. So I want you to come over here and I want you to set up a buy order for 160 coal. Now right now the price of coal is really high and the price of enchanted coal is far lower than usual, but this flip is still going to be working and still be making a ton of money. Now as you can see, other items like for example redstone have 500 million instant sells, lapis 234 million, but coal over here, if we look, it has 1.5 billion instant sells every single week. Hopefully not every single hour. So if we set up a buy order, as you will see, it fills basically instantly. But if we do the math and divide it by 7 days, 24 hours, 60 minutes, it is around about 140,000 coal instant sold every single minute, which means that if you do the math, you're making around about 1.4 coins per coal if you make it into enchanted coal and set up a sell order, which means that you're basically making around about 220,000 coins per minute, or around about 13 million coins per hour. Now, if you don't believe me, I'm going to set up a buy order, and we're going to see just how quickly it fills. Okay, so here we are, coal, we're going to set up an instant buy really quickly, or a buy order, and then come in here, just do 70,000, pretty simple. Now what you want to do is, once this order fills, you want to set up another order, and then claim the current order that is filled while the other order fills up, and it should work in a basically perfect, like, unison. Now, it should take pretty much the same, maybe a little bit longer to be selling the enchanted coal. However, I doubt you're going to be doing this money making method 24/7, so there will be downtime, which will be perfect time to sell. Now, as you can see here, it's been 17 seconds and you've already bought 31,000, and give it a few more seconds and there we go. It is filled up. It is actually super quick. So as you can see there, perfect. That's already about 100,000 coins worth of profit, and all you have to do is claim it, get yourself like a personal compactor, even the first one, because all you need is one slot for enchanted coal, and that's how you make a ton of money, just from a bizarre flip that doesn't require you to move around or anything, and is basically impossible to kill because there are so many people selling it every single hour. Okay, so the next method is grinding coalionite, and I'll show you guys where the location is, or I guess you can't really find it, it does move around, but it's anywhere in the mithril deposits, and this time it's going to be a singular spawn. I'll talk about the double spawn coalionite later, which is basically just double the money, but yeah, a singular spawn, and we're going to be going over how you make it, and let me just go find one really quickly. Okay, so this is me at a coalionite right now, and pretty much I'm just waiting for him to spawn in, and then once he does, all you have to do is hit him one time, and as long as you hit him for at least 10,000 damage in total, and then somebody else or you kill him, there is a 100% loot share, which means if they drop a coalionite, you get it, and if you drop a coalionite, they get it. And it is not affected by magic find either, it is actually only affected by looting. But yeah, once it spawns in, you just want to kill it, and then you want to sell it to the NPC. Now, this is a double layer, which we'll be talking about later, but basically, if you just find one of the locations that's good enough, you come down here, and then whichever location you find, you just want to kill coalionite. Now, the current price of them is about 500,000 coins per, which means you're making around about 9 million per hour by using a single spawn location. Now, the second method, which is a little bit more complicated, is the one I am currently showing on screen, which is kind of a very rare drop, but basically you got to find both coalionite locations in the lobby, and then you want to swap between them. Now, I do have a whole video on this, like a whole video just dedicated to double coalionite spawns, so if you want to check that out, go check it out on my channel. It's called like the 70 mil per hour money making method. But yeah, you want to be killing them, and what you will do is they will spawn in, you rotate between the two because they spawn on a timer, and then yeah, you should be getting double as many drops, which means at the current price, you'll be making around about 18 million coins per hour, but at the old price, you were making around about 70 million coins because they were 4 times more expensive than they are now. Okay, so the third method is going to be grinding up glacites, and as we'll see here, my current kills, I'm going to be calculating it for 1 minute based on how many kills I get and based off the average drops. So I'm not going to be seeing what I get, but I'm going to be seeing how many kills I get and then doing the math. So we're going to do it for 1 minute and we'll see what I get. Okay, so it has been a minute, and if we check out glaciite kills, I got 70 in that minute, which means 70 times 60 is 4,200 per hour. Now, if we come on here and we check what the rates are, that basically means that if we divide it by the 0.25 chance of getting a glaciite piece, that means that we are averaging a roundabout, what's that, divided by 400, I can't do my math for a second, but it's around about 10.5 pieces, which if you then times it by the 1.6 for the magic find that I have, it's around 16, and then if you times it by 1.75 for the looting enchantment, that will give you about 29 pieces of glaciite. And then if you take the jewels, and if you times that by, the exact same thing, we take 4,200, we divide that by 200, times that by 1.6 for the magic find, times that by 1.75 for looting. That's going to give us around about 83 glaciite jewels per hour. Now, if we check, that means it's around about 7.5 million coins worth of jewels and around about 1 million coins worth of glaciite armor. So yeah, that's pretty good. I reckon that 9 million coins for killing glacites is pretty good. Now, you obviously will need a booster cookie and a god pot and a couple of kills to be getting the most magic find, and I would also recommend you use a sword so it has looting on it, but yeah, pretty good. Now obviously luck does work for swords, not looting. I just realized I accidentally said looting, but it is basically the same thing. So yeah, making 9 million coins an hour from grinding up glacites is very good. Okay, so the next money making method is going to be done on my Combat to Hyperion profile, because this is the one that has the setup for it. Now basically what you want to do is you want to come over here to the crystal nucleus, and then you want to grab some wishing compasses and make your way down to the bottom here. If you are in the magma area, the magma fields, and you use a wishing compass, it should point directly towards Baal, as long as you haven't got the topaz crystal. If you have got the topaz crystal, then probably just ask for coordinates or either do the entire crystal nucleus. But yeah, we want to go around here until we find a lobby where Bal has spawned in, and I'll just skip ahead to that. Okay, so I'll show you guys what the best setup is, but for now, what you want to do is you just want to hit him with the Soul's Rebound so that he doesn't take any hits, and this is a bad lobby, so I'm going to just skip ahead to where I find a lobby that actually works. But yeah, you should frequently find it. I've actually been very unlucky to find 2 bad lobbies in a row, but yeah, here we go. Now, basically what you want to do is dig out a 2x2 hole, come over here, and then wait for Bal to spawn. While you're waiting, you can shoot other mobs if there are some around, and you can also dig out a little hole because you will need to run through here once Bal gets low so that he respawns and he doesn't die. Now, as I said, I will go over the loot that you need and the drops and the amount of money you're making and everything in a second, but pretty much if you want to, it does rely on having 10 ticks on the Terra armor, so you can get way better odds if you're just shooting at mobs while you wait for Bal to spawn in. But once he's in here, shoot him with the Soul's Rebound, and then you should be able to spam him with bullets, and you're waiting for the message that says nearly there, and then once you get the nearly there, the boss is starting to shake message, you want to run into the hole and go out of the Khazad-dûm. Once you've done that, Bal should start respawning, and because the Bal drop for the Bal pet is based off hits, the not waiting 5 minutes for Bal to respawn is how you maximize the amount of hits you get per hour and maximize the money. Now, I do have a whole video on this as well, so if you want to check that out, go watch that video on my channel. Okay, so here's what you want. You want basically a Soul's Rebound, a duplex of any short bow, 2 Force Hyper Werewolf armor with 2 Force Terra armor. Now, that's obviously for the attack speed. Then you want the accessories to be reforged for attack speed or for attack speed, pretty much. That's the only reforge you'd want on them. Right now it's for damage, but damage doesn't matter because it's only based off hits. And then basically what you want to do is just pull out the Soul's Rebound, shoot him, and then spam him with the Dragon Shortbow. Now I'm going to go over the profit in a second, and oh yeah, the pet you're going to want is a Bal pet, any level, just so you have heat immunity, and the Crochet Tiger plushie for the increased attack speed. Okay, so this is the math for the drops. Now, first of all, this is how many arrows you're going to be shooting per second based off what you're using. Now, the Terminator is 6 arrows per second. Any other short bow is 2. Now, this is how many arrows you're going to be shooting based off whether you have a Terminator at the top or a normal bow at the bottom. So it is pretty quickly anyway. Obviously, we'll have attack speed, so you don't worry about the 30 seconds. Now, right now are the drop chances for both of them, and technically the prices are about 4 mil less for each of them, but that doesn't really matter because we'll just reduce the price by about 25% when we get to the end of the calculations. But basically, it's telling you about how much money you're getting per hit, and then we'll take this money per hit, calculate that alongside the amount of arrows you're shooting per second, and obviously with the Soul's Rebound, there are no invincibility frames, so you can just shoot as many arrows you want per second, and we'll see how much money you're making. So before we add respawn time, you're technically making 240 mil per hour, minus obviously 25% for the price drop, but technically, if you add the 30 seconds of cooldown, you're making 51 million coins per hour, minus 25%. You're probably making closer to 35 million coins per hour right now, which is still insanely good for how easy this money-making method is. Okay, so next up we have farming, and of course the thing about farming is that it really depends on just how much farming fortune you have. But luckily, in the Elite Skyblock Farmers Discord server, we can come in here and we can calculate the rates. Now, the link to the actual server is going to be here, so make sure you don't get routed and join the wrong server or anything. But yeah, if you come into hashtag farming weight and you do, for example, /rates, and let's just say we have 1,000 fortune, which is a lot, but it's a good base rate. You'll be making 12 million coins to the NPC per hour by using 1,000 farming fortune, and that doesn't include, Jacob's tickets and stuff, and medals and all of that. Now if we do /rates and we go, let's say farming fortune 500, and we come in here, that means you're making around about, with just 500 farming fortune, 8.2 million coins per hour, which is really not that much farming fortune to get, and to be honest, a lot of coins per hour. So if you want to do something that's chill and you can just watch video games or do anything in the background, then I would definitely recommend watch YouTube or watch something in the background. Then farming is definitely the thing for you, and you can be making a lot of money. Okay, so the next money making method is going to be done in the Rift, and we basically just want to come in here and then make our way down. Now you want to just walk down the ladders and come over to the eye. This is assuming that you obviously have a decent amount of progress in the Rift, otherwise I wouldn't recommend this money making method. But you want to come to the, I clicked on the wrong one, you want to go to the plaza, so I'm just going to walk over there, but yeah, you'd preferably want to teleport there directly, but things happen. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be grinding up some of the half-eaten carrots, and hopefully you're going to want a few items here, but not really. It's actually very low in requirements outside of a couple of rift progression things, which realistically, if you want to progress through Skyblock, having a little bit of rift progression is not going to hurt at all. But you want to talk to him, grab your Kalzuka, and then grab your your rabbit. Now, I would probably recommend that you have one of the, if we just look in here, it's a backwards carrot on a stick, and it will make the rabbit come towards you, which is a lot more convenient than having the rabbit run away from you. You want to just clear out a big area and then have him come to you, and I'm going to time to see how long it takes me to get 2 enchanted half-eaten carrots, because that's what you need for the crafting recipe, and then we're going to check out the other resources and we're going to add them all together. Okay, so that is it, and it was only 1:30 exactly for me to get the 2 enchanted half-eaten carrots, or nearly whole carrots, basically the same thing. We're going to come over here, and I'm just going to show you how to get the scribes. Now, I would say, considering I have a maxed out rift fortune, I'm probably not taking any longer than, an extra 30 seconds if I'm doing them properly. Now, obviously, it takes a little bit of time to walk over here, but if I was doing it properly, I'd probably grind the half-eaten carrots for a whole hour, and then I would do the scribes for however much time I need. Shouldn't be that long. As you can see right here, boom. That was like 10 seconds, plus I got 2, so basically 5 seconds each, but I'll round up in the end just to, account for downtime. Then if we come over here to the Volks, very easy. This one's also very easy because technically you don't have to stand on these blocks. Technically you can just walk away and start killing another one, and you can be doing 2 at a time, so realistically you should be getting way better rates than this is, but obviously I'm only killing 1 right now, so there we go. Now you get 2 here as well, so let's just say 2 minutes to get an exportable carrots, and then I'm going to go take them through Sirius, and then I'm going to trade them over to the main profile, and we're going to see how much money I made. Okay, so as you can see here, boom, that is 800,000 coins, which if we divide it by 2 for 2 minutes, it's around about 400,000 coins per minute, which is technically 24 million coins, and I don't think that's actually that inaccurate, but let's just say for rounding sake, it's about 20 million coins per hour, which is still extremely good and probably puts it up just behind Bal very, very slightly as one of the best money making methods out of all of these. Okay, so this last money making method is going to be done in the Rift, and it can make you around about 26 million coins per hour, but if you come here, you want to just teleport to the Dread Farm or the Plaza. Either one is kind of the same distance away from where you want to be, but if you teleport to the Plaza, then technically it's less Rift time, so whatever you want to do. Now, you want to come over here and you want to start grinding up these shadows, because we obviously need shadows. So I'm going to put up a timer and we're going to see how long it takes me to grind up 15 of them, and then, we'll see how much profit we make. Now, you want to find a lobby where there's only you in it, and unfortunately this lobby ended up having another person grinding it, so it's a lot worse for money that way. So I'm going to swap lobbies, and then we're going to see how much I make. Okay, so there we go. I actually have 19, I actually got a little bit extra, but if we come down here, that only took me 2.5 minutes, and then we have to click on this guy. You have to finish the whole Mirrorverse, but come in here, talk to him, and this is one of those times you're gonna have to trust me, because I've done this money making method so many times that I'm gonna tell you that if you're grinding up moats in an area where there are a bunch of people, at least 2 other people in the lobby doing tier 4 bosses, and you're grinding them up in the vampire area with basically max gear, you're gonna be getting more than 300,000 per hour. But if we just average 300,000 moats if you're selling everything, and this is without McRubber burgers, by the way. With McRubber burgers you're probably making closer to 400, but yeah. Now, come over here, and we've had to buy that, so assuming that it takes you around about, now, 2.5 minutes. By the way, when I said the cruxes, I meant it only takes 1.5 minutes. I was thinking about the total time because I'm doing a voiceover right now, but yeah. In total, it takes you 2.5 minutes to get a reflection book, so I'm going to go talk to Sirius, trade it over, and we're going to see how much profit I make. Okay, so here we go, we walk over here. Now, if we come here, take the reflection book out, it actually gives you 3, put it up for a sell offer for 1.1 million coins. Now, 1.1 million divided by the 2.5 for 2.5 minutes gives us 440,000 coins per minute. Times that by 60, that's 26 million coins at the current price, which is technically a little bit lower than I've seen it be at max. I've seen maximum like 33 million coins per hour, but right now it is 26 million coins, which is the second best money making method. It is slightly better than the carrots and slightly worse than the Bal pet. So yeah, it's alright in terms of fun. I guess it's not the most entertaining, and because you can't really one tap, there's a little bit of waiting around, but it's not a bad money making method, especially for the amount of money you make per hour. Okay guys, so that's going to wrap it up for the 10 best early game money making methods. Now, a lot of those money making methods were making like 20 to 30 million coins per hour, which is a ton of money for an early game player, so I hope you guys found a good money making method. Now I just wanted to say I'm giving away a Hyperion and a billion coins, so if I haven't hit 20,000 subscribers yet when you're watching this, make sure to subscribe and then click the video in the pinned comment because you're a chance to win. Now, that's about it. If you guys have watched the whole 25-minute video and you haven't subscribed, then please do consider it. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going for YouTube rank, and I'll see you next time.